Good evening, everybody. We're going to talk tonight about how to get your YouTube channel off the ground, how to get it going, or how to get it restarted here in 2025. I'm going to give you 10 tips that I have used to grow this channel and that I'm using to grow another channel on top of this. It's gained 50 subscribers in just a couple of weeks. And I definitely feel like I'm getting a lot more comfortable with understanding what YouTube is actually looking for. And I want to give you that information so that way you can maximize your learning curve. Because I think one of the biggest things for me was it took me a while to learn so many things about YouTube when I first really got serious on the platform. So we're going to go through here as we go. We're going to type them up and I'll put them on the screen for you. And then we'll talk about each one here briefly as we go. So step one, you need to define your avatar. You need to know who it is that you are trying to reach. Okay. For every channel, for every stream that you're trying to make, you need to know who it is that you are targeting, who it is you're trying to reach. That's your avatar. And you want to go more specific. Okay. The more specific you can go. Now, you don't want to go so narrow that there's only like 10 people in the world that match this. But you want to do something like, instead of easy meals to cook at home, it might be easy meals for college kids to cook in their dorm room using only a coffee pot, right? So if you start to be like, okay, my avatar is cooking for college kids, right? And realizing, okay, I'm going to tailor everything towards the resources that you have as a college kid. Okay, what do you do if all you have is a microwave and, a coffee, a teapot or whatever? So like, that's all you can do. What sort of things can you creatively make? So if you can narrow down your avatar for focusing on whatever the specific area that your channel is all about, that's going to be huge and it's going to be helpful to you. So that's the first thing that you want to do. Really define your avatar. And I noticed on this channel, one of the things that was happening was my avatar was kind of scattered all over the place. It was kind of sports fans and it was kind of food delivery people, and like none of those things were ultimately who my goal avatar was. And it's like, I need to redo everything and not necessarily delete any content, but refocus my content on who it is I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to reach people who are discouraged with some or all facets of their life and help them to break out of that into life freedom. That's what I want this channel to be about. And so as I kind of grew and everything, I was like, okay, we might take a couple steps back. We might kind of like be neutral on subscribers for a little bit. We might not be gaining a ton of new people, but I want to help people get out. So if you're financially struggling, yes, a great way to do that is through food delivery and gig delivery work. But there's also other things that you can do that are going to build you more long-term for what your success is. And so I've really worked since the start of this year to focus on defining this avatar of people who are dissatisfied with one or more areas of their life, that are feeling entrapped and really want freedom. And that's what I'm starting to focus all around. Now on the sports channel, I'm focusing on New York Mets and Miami Dolphins fans, and for people specifically who want clean football content and clean baseball content without curse words that you can sit down and watch with your family. Because there's a lot of great sports streamers out there, but there's not many of them that I would feel comfortable on a regular basis sitting down and watching with my kids. And to me, that's an important thing that I want to have as we go into this year. I want to have that. So define your avatar. All right. Next is going to be short and descriptive titles. You want to have short and descriptive titles. Your title should be clear as to what you are communicating. Now, you don't necessarily always give the answer in the title. It's okay to open a curiosity loop, but it needs to be short and clear. So that way someone can read it and instantly determine, yes, this is going to apply to me. Generally speaking, you want to be aiming, all the research I'm seeing says under 70 characters. So they give you 100 characters for your title, but I'm always aiming as close as I can to get to the 70 characters. Occasionally, I'll go past that if there's one or two keywords that I think are really important and I can't figure out a better way to get them otherwise. But you want to be focusing 70 characters. And so I'll give you like a comparison. Again, this is kind of like your avatar, right? The more specific your avatar is, the easier it is to reach them. Well, the same thing would be true here. So you could say, my favorite productivity tips or my favorite productivity hacks. Okay, that's fine, but who are you? Why would I trust you or whatever? Really doesn't do much. But if then you go more specific here, you could say 5 easy productivity tips for busy moms in 2025, right? So now you've targeted who it's for, and exactly what you're looking for. So for this video, it's everything new YouTube creators need to start in 2025, plus a YouTube AMA. And I will probably delete the plus YouTube AMA at the end because that's not going to be a searchable thing or something people can participate in per se afterwards. But I have it here for the live. So the main video title, at least the first form of it, everything new YouTube creators need to start in 2025, because that's what I'm targeting. And if you see that and you say, well, I'm not a new YouTube creator, so that's maybe not my thing, that's fine. This video is not then specifically for you, because this channel is trying to help people who are beginners to get things going, to get things launched. I know we got lots of people who either want to start or have started or are restarting their YouTube channel. So good evening to you, Kevin. Good evening, Midnight. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Okay, so we've got define your avatar and then short and descriptive titles. Okay, then we're going to do this one is going to be create eye-catching thumbnail. And we actually have kind of two parts to the thumbnail thing here. So this is tip 1. It's got to be eye-catching. So I've been fiddling with lots of different things, but generally speaking, you want bold, bright colors. You want something that makes a clear statement, almost kind of to the slightly oversaturated a little bit. And you can do this, and what you want to do is you want to look for good avatars, eye-catching avatars, even if they're not getting the most views. When you look in your niche and you look for good eye-catching avatar. So if you're in the entertainment niche and you're doing all sorts of things like that, then maybe you want to do something along the lines of, if in the entertainment niche, maybe do things. So I'm just changing the brightness of my screen so you can see my eyes a little bit better. Look at Mr. Beast and look at how he creates his thumbnails and what's popping on them. Generally speaking, too, you want 3 words or less. Okay, but you want high contrast colors, bold, easy to read text, and it needs to then go along with your title. So your title kind of is the first thing they see, and then when they look over at the thumbnail, it needs to reinforce exactly what it is that you're communicating, but add a little bit more to it. So it's kind of the two need to work together. And so that's actually the next point that we have here, because it's really hard to do one without the other. So make sure your title and thumbnail work together. Okay, it's tip number 4. Make sure your title and your thumbnail work together. What I mean is this: you generally don't want to be using the same words in your title as are on your thumbnail. Or more specifically, if you kind of have your title planned out exactly how you want it, use different words on the thumbnail than what you already put in your title. You want to make sure they're working together. They're not, it's not that the title leads them to the thumbnail or the thumbnail leads them to the title. It's that your title and your thumbnail leads them to click on the video, because it doesn't matter how great your video quality is, your video production is, if you can't get them to actually see it and then click on it, then that's where you're leaving your potential growth and your potential audience, and maybe never even getting to meet people, because that's really what it is. They see a title, they see a thumbnail, and they make a decision whether they're going to click on it or scroll on past you. And so you need to have this big eye-catching stop sign, which is your thumbnail, and it needs to go along with whatever claim it is. And it's okay to be clickbaity with your title, going back to the title side, but just make sure you deliver on it. So another way I could have done this would be top 10 new creator tips, or something like that. But you can go either way. But even when I do a top 10 video, then I'm always going to include 1 or 2 bonus things at the end. So it's like, well, you clip for the top 10 things, but I'm going to actually give you 2 bonus. And that's exactly what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to give you 10 things for a beginner, and then I'm going to give just a couple of slightly more intermediate tips at the very end for someone who's like, okay, I kind of have the basics of what I want to be doing with my YouTube channel. I know how it's all working together. But now what's the next thing that I can do? Okay, but now let's assume, right? I'm kind of trying to walk you through the process. And here's the way to do it. Walk yourself through the process of a viewer, right? And so and like I said, go into your niche and look at it and say, okay, which of these titles and then which thumbnail would make me want to click on it, and then how are they working together, and then you go to the next level here, okay, which is this: hook viewers in first 3 seconds. I know it's crazy, and I know I don't always do this. Sometimes it's a little harder to do on a live form video, but you want to hook your viewer in the first 3 seconds, right? Because we are short attention span. And I would say this is especially true once you're monetized, because if someone watches an ad and then they watch the first 3 seconds of your video and they're like, wow, that was lame, I'm just going to scroll right on the next one. You want to make sure that you're giving them the reason to stay around. And how do you do that? Well, essentially, you're trying to do a couple things. One, you're trying to confirm that the reason that they clicked on it, you're reinforcing your title and your thumbnail by going right away. So if I were doing this as like a long form video, I might start with, everybody wants to grow on YouTube, but only a few have really learned the secrets of how to turn YouTube, right? Everybody wants, but only a few. Everybody, but only a few, right? So something right away, within the first 3 seconds, 5 seconds at the absolute longest, get right into it. Nobody cares about who you are. Nobody wants to know your name in the first 3 to 5 seconds. They want to know, I clicked on this video. Am I going to get what I clicked on it for, right? And you might say, well, they're not paying for it. It's free. But that's not necessarily true. So one, they're paying for it with their time. 2, they might be paying for it with their money if they have YouTube, premium. So then they're already paying money for it. So, and 3, they've got a clicker, right? It used to be the remote control. Now it's just the mouse, or now it's the thumb swipe, that they can just go on to another video within seconds. So if you've done all the work to get the initial click, then you need to offer them something in the first 3 seconds, ideally, if not first 5 at the absolute most. Okay, so this idea of doing that. Now, when you're doing lives and it's a little more interactive, you can kind of open with like a normal catchphrase, so like when I'm doing my food deliveries, I'll usually start with a happy Thursday evening, right? Happy Thursday evening, everybody. We're out here delivering on DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Instacart, right? But I'm going to hop right into it. Even in a live, I'm going to do that. Not so much for the live, because a lot of times people don't come on the live for a few seconds. I'm doing it for anyone who's going to watch it through on replay. And then I give the invite to subscribe right away on a live, on a food delivery, because I know most people are not going to watch on replay a 4-hour food delivery live stream, right? So the purpose of that is to set up the entire live stream there for people to come back. Now, hopefully on a video like this, people will actually come through, and then I'll go through and I'll re-add all the timestamps in as to when we talk about each of these different things. Okay. Next, post consistently. And then we're going to put on this realistic schedule. Okay. You want to post consistently, but you want to have a realistic schedule. All right. And what I mean is this: it all depends on how much of your time you can invest in YouTube. The more time you can invest in YouTube, the faster you're going to grow. However, the temptation is going to be to invest too much into YouTube too fast, and then some of your other financial responsibilities or time responsibilities might go out the window. And so one of the things I had to do with this channel is, before I was monetized, before I was making anything on it, I had to be like, okay, I need to be making money. And so how am I going to make money while at the same time, going out and making YouTube content? And so I had to figure out what that realistic schedule was. And I didn't hit it perfectly, and you're not going to hit it perfectly. But the goal is, like, if you're posting, 3 lives one week, and then you take the next week off, and the next week you do 6 lives, and then you take 3 more weeks off, there's not going to be enough consistency to build with an audience. And I know I can feel it. I can feel the momentum of the channel. As soon as I take a break from doing lives, and especially vertical lives, for a couple of days, even if I'm trying to build out long form content or horizontal lives, I feel it's like, oh my goodness, it seems like it's harder to get people who regularly view to show up. And so the best way to overcome that is to consistently post. And if you're going to do a series, and try to consistently post on it. And again, I'm not perfect on all these things, and sometimes life gets in the way, but you need to have at least a somewhat realistic schedule of what posting is. I would say in the very least, you want to be doing 1 quality long form piece a week, at least 1 a week that is on task with your avatar. All right, next is going to be optimize your descriptions, keywords. And I'm going to give you a little hack about how I do this here too, because this is actually easier than ever. All right, so your video description is not going to be necessarily the reason why someone's going to click on your video, but it might be the reason why YouTube finds you better potential viewers for your YouTube channel. So if you can put in a 2 to 3 sentence description with really good keywords. Now you might say, well, how do I know what keywords are? Well, this is where the power of artificial intelligence, the power of AI in 2025 makes this easier than ever. So you can literally go on and do this. So let me just, I'm going to actually open up ChatGPT, and I'm going to go in here, and we're going to go, let's see if I can do a screen share. Let's do, I don't know if there's an easy way to do this here. Let me try this. Hold on. Present, share screen, share screen. I don't want to do the entire screen. I just want to do, let's see. Just trying to figure out the best way to do this. I can show you entire screen. All right, so I use ChatGPT to outline this. I'm going to go ahead and just we'll share this way because I'm using ChatGPT for all sorts of video creation things. So I'm going to say here, okay, give me a 2 to 3 sentence. You're getting some bonus tips on the screen here, so don't look at description of this video, keyword stuffed, right? So I can do all this and I don't have to spend a ton of time. So then this can pop this out to you. Starting a YouTube channel in 2025, learn 10 essential tips for beginner creators, including how to define your avatar, creative eye-catching thumbnails, and post consistently to grow your channel. Master YouTube SEO with optimized titles, descriptions, and shorts to help you reach your audience and rank higher in search. All right, so that gives you doing that. Yeah, and YouTube and there's other there are other things, and vidIQ, if you want to sign up for something like that, they'll actually tell you when your avatar is most likely to be on and when your viewers generally watch your videos, and it'll actually tell you, like, launch this video at 5 o'clock. And I know with consistent live streams, trying to find a time to do that, I'm working on that right now. That's why I'm testing it. But when we were doing consistent live streams like 9 o'clock every night or 9:15 every night, it really helped grow the channel because people can know and count on you. And again, you can build out the more you can build out series that people know exactly when you're going to be on, you're going to be able to do that. And so you can do these things. And so again, using AI doesn't mean it's thinking for you. It's taking your thoughts and doing that. And if I want to be more specific, I could say, make sure to include these ideas. But like, it's just taking all the things that I'm going to be talking about in the video and just writes it into a description. You could go to the same thing and say, give me 3 hashtags that are very searchable. So you want to fill out, if YouTube asks you for it and you have the ability to fill it out, because it's only going to help YouTube find your ideal viewers for that video. Okay, so you want to be looking for ways to just be optimizing and find those keywords with it. All right, this one is a big one, and I think I've gotten a lot better. I'm not perfect, because you start getting communication in a lot of different ways, but you want to engage with your audience. Now, a couple of ways. One, live streams. Okay, live streams, and specifically, as soon as you get to 50 subscribers, vertical live streams is one of the best ways to quickly grow your audience. It's one of the best ways to quickly grow your audience is vertical live streams, for sure, because you are going to get fed to this algorithm. There's a group of people. YouTube will feed your live stream to anywhere. I mean, maybe the bigger that you get, the more it is. But for me, it's generally between 15 to 25, sometimes maybe a little bit larger. 15 to 25 people will be fed your vertical live stream, and you will have anywhere from 5 to 30 seconds to kind of win them over. And we've won over a lot of different subscribers that way. It's one of the best ways to do that. Of course, vertical live streaming is one of the best ways to get your watch hours up as well. So that's one way to engage with your audience, is do live streams. Now, if you want a slightly more intimate live stream, then you do more of a horizontal live stream. It's going to grow slower, but that's okay, because it's going to give you the time to get used to responding to commenters, right? It's not always the easiest thing. You got to figure out how to do it. Also, you're going to get way less trolls on a horizontal live stream like this than a vertical live stream. So if you're not to the point where you don't have a bunch of great moderators, and of course I do, and Midnight being one of them, who's here right now, and thank you, Midnight, for being one of the great mods. But you guys will see when we do these horizontal live streams, there's pretty much no moderation necessary, at least at this stage of the channel. Now, if we get to the point where there's 100,000 subscribers, or well, we're at 1,700 right now, so even 17,000 subscribers, then yeah, you're going to see a few more things and bots and trolls and things like that. But if you're to the point where you don't really have a moderating team, I would 100% just say do some horizontal live stream, and you're going to do some alone. If you go back through some of my lives, you will see, I don't know if it'll show you, but if you can tell, there are you can start trolling if I'm bored. But there's some of the lives, some of my earliest lives I did, absolutely nobody watched them. I literally streamed for a half an hour and nobody was in there. But you know what? It was good, because it taught me I had to keep talking, and it helped build that confidence. And then as we go into things, and there's still sometimes I catch myself slipping, especially when I'm doing deliveries and there's a lot of things going on in my head. But if I'm here sitting at the computer, it's a great way to just practice keeping the live stream, figuring out who you are, being engaging, and figuring out all the ins and outs of it. And it's okay that not many people are watching you, or it's okay that no one's going to watch you. It's going to do that. Okay, so a couple different live ways to engage with their audience. But the much bigger way is when people comment on your videos, you need to reply, and not just reply with yup and nope. There's nothing more frustrating than when, for me, at least, when I go and I comment something on someone's video and they're like, yep. It's like, really? Like, I'm trying, like, if I'm going to actually if I'm taking the time to make a comment for a video and do that, I mean, and I know sometimes it's hard to know exactly what to do. And if you're really stuck, you can, again, and you don't know what to do, that's where this AI stuff can help. You can say, I want to make a response to this, but I don't know what to reply. I've replied this like so many times. But help me come up with a creative, fun, playful response to it. Or if someone leaves a trolling comment and you're not sure how to respond to it, and you don't want to respond emotionally, like, AI can help you with these things. AI doesn't have emotions. AI will just try to help you determine a good course of action. And then you can even give it like some cues, like, I want it to say this, but in a playful way, and it's gonna help with that. So engage with their audience, and when they click, if they take the time to write a comment, give them a genuine response. And sometimes if someone makes 3 different comments in a video, I won't respond to all 3, but I will always respond to one of them, and then I'll always give the heart and the like to the other 2 comments, because sometimes it's like you don't need to respond to all 3, but I want to at least let them know that their comment was seen, and I'm going to interact with at least one of their multiple comments, and do that. And it shows people like, hey, he actually listened to me, or she actually listened to me. They're willing to engage and have a little bit of discussion. That's going to make them want to come back for more, because you're going to have a group of people that are going to come to your lives, but then you're also going to have a group of people, they're never going to watch one of your lives ever. They're just going to go and consume your long form content. Yep, exactly. You got it. I'm going to post that. That's a good, always like reply to comments and dislike them. It helps your engagement, like you're literally saying right now. Absolutely. So thank you for doing that. All right. This is tip number 9. Use free tools. I'm going to put and AI. We've already alluded to this some, for editing and analytics. Now, I'm going to assume if you're starting base level with YouTube that you don't have a huge budget. As you start to get a budget, you can invest in things. So, for example, there's StreamYard. I got an affiliate link to StreamYard in my description below. So if you want to do it, I love using StreamYard, but I'm also to the point where it's like, okay, I'm bringing in a little bit off of YouTube, so I'm going to put a little bit into the YouTube channel. And I think I actually got StreamYard before I was monetized because of the features and because of being the ability to grow the channel a little bit more. But it's like you can do things for free, and there's a bunch of different things out there. So for me, for all my long form videos, I grew up on iMovie. I've been using Mac since I don't even know, you know, 25 years now I've been using Mac. So I just grew up on that. But if from what I've heard from everyone else, if I was learning something brand new, I'd probably learn CapCut. It's brand new. I mean, there's DaVinci Resolve, there's YouTube Studio, there's vidIQ. Some of these things will give you free trials, like StreamYard, they'll give you a free trial, or they'll have a very base level free plan, like ChatGPT has a base level free plan. If all you need to do is just get some basic ideas for things, it'll work with that. It limits how much you can use it on a given day. Now I have the first paid tier on ChatGPT because I use it enough, and it gives the ability to generate images, which part of this thumbnail for this video is ChatGPT generated, but then I overlay some of my own stuff on top of it. So there's free tools out there. There's Adobe Podcast, where it can take some, if you recorded a video and there's just some really junky audio on it, it can correct your audio. There's all sorts of tools. And I mean, I could probably make a video on just like, there probably are already great videos on like your top 10 AI tools or top 10 free AI tools for YouTube creators. You can search those videos because people who are a lot smarter than me and who use them a lot better than me are out there. But there's so many tools that you can do free if you're on a $0 budget to start with. So hopefully some of those will help with you and in getting things going. All right, and then last, and I'm going to give you a very basic short strategy if you're not sure how to use shorts. I'm not saying that I know how to make shorts go viral. That's one of my goals this year. One of my goals is to figure out how to get a million viewed short. I want to figure out how to get a million viewed shorts. So that's one of the things I'm working on. But I'm going to tell you a really basic short strategy. Leverage YouTube Shorts. And here's the basic short strategy that you want to do. Let's assume that you're taking my advice and you're doing at least one solid long form piece of content a week. Okay? At least one solid piece of long form content a week. Well, after a week, I think even after about 3 or 4 days, you start to get some analytics and you can see which parts of your video that people are using and which parts they're replaying, which parts more people are watching. And this, by the way, if you want to get that information even better, put timestamps in so that way people can skip to the parts they want to see. And that gives you more information as to what things people want to see in your videos and what things they're skipping over. I used to not put timestamps, and a lot of my older videos don't have them yet because I haven't retrofitted them. But if you use timestamps, like I'm going to go back after this video is done and I'll put timestamps back in so people can look up each of the various tips that we talked about. And you just find a popular part of one of your long form videos and you just cut that into a short. So I did my $700 in 1 day challenge. And after I started getting some analytics, I started cutting shorts out of it. I didn't have to do any extra editing. I just edited the start and the finish time on YouTube, overlaid some text, overlaid some, a voiceover if I need to or something like that. And that was it. And I would put it all together and that becomes the short. And then I would direct that short. And of course, that short, if they click on the button on the bottom, it'll lead them to the long form video. And I also post a link to the long form video in the description. And with the goal of, hey, maybe if they like the short, they'll go and watch the whole video. And so that's one of the simplest ways to do it without being this creative genius or without being a TikTok dance star. You just make your solid long form video, put your timestamps in, you see what people are skipping to, what they really like, what they want to see, and then you cut that section anywhere from like 10 seconds to 60 seconds or even up to 3 minutes now. If you've got a really good piece of content in there, make that the short, let it go. Maybe 20 people see it, maybe 500 people see it, maybe 5,000 people see it. I don't know. It tends to kind of slowly scale upwards as you get better, but do that. And then you're not doing those things too much. And I'll get to your other comment, like you said, we'll get to that for the AMA. But yeah, if you're doing videos for other platforms, they make good shorts too. Absolutely. You definitely want to be sensitive to Every platform does have its unique things, but if you're very limited on time, that's a way to start. I personally, I'm not even on other video platforms right now, because until I get to the point where this YouTube is paying me full time, I don't want to split my energy. Now, if I get to the point where I have an editor, or I have someone who can post for me, or I've, any of those things, then I can start to consider doing other things. But if you are already on multiple platforms, then absolutely. Or you can, even if you're just like on Facebook or on X or something like that, you can always just put a link, back to either your short or your long form video. Okay. So I'm going to give you 2 bonus, and these are kind of slightly more intermediate tips. All right. Make sure I'm spelling everything right here. All right. So here is intermediate tip number 1: analyze your analytics. There's so much that you can learn. You want to look at how many people are your click-through rate, your CTR. You'll hear that if you start digging into YouTube more, your CTR, how many people are clicking through. So when they see your title and they see your thumbnail, what percentage of the people who see those actually click? And a lot of, generally here, usually between like 3 and 5% click-through rate is good. And so if you're seeing higher than that, that's great. If you're seeing lower than that, probably means you need to get working on your title and your thumbnail game. So that's part of it. But also it'll show you in the video where things drop off. So I'll just pull up one on my phone here, just to kind of show you how this works. All right, so I'm going to show you a little bit on here. This is from my sports channel, the Dear Pete Alonso video. So you can see, obviously, it always starts out at 100%, and then it says 46% of viewers are still watching around the 36 or around the 30-second mark, which is typical. Okay, but then one of the things that I notice on here is there's a little spike. I don't know if you guys can see this, but right after that line, you see how that spikes up there? So what I want to do is I want to investigate that spike. I want to figure out, why did it spike there? What were people clicking for? Because that spike could be multiple things to me. That spike could be a brand new YouTube short that I could cut out of it. That spike could turn out to be an entirely new video, right? If I have 5, 10, 30 seconds of something engaging that a bunch of people skipped right to, that's giving me information to do that. So you want to look at your analytics, and there's so many fun things that are within your analytics. You can do, like, you can click on these different tabs. The reach, right? So the reach for that video was 13,800. Here's my CTR on this video, 2.5%. So that's a little bit lower, right? So I want to figure out, why are people not clicking through? Is it my thumbnail? Is it my title? Is it my topic, right? My topic might just not be a bad topic, but I don't know if I would say that. Here's my views, 397, unique viewers, 363, right? And then how did people find it? Okay. So if you notice here, it's a lot through browse. There's, a little bit through playlist, suggested videos, but they're not really coming through subscribers yet, because I don't have too much going on there. And then you can see, okay, this is the content that's suggested in the video, right? So you scroll down. So this is all stuff that's available within your analytics. Ooh, there. And then your engagement. And so we already looked at, the overall chart, but your watch time. So of course that matters, because you're trying to build up watch hours to monetization. And then your likes versus dislikes. It's YouTube doesn't make dislikes public anymore, but you can see, as a whole, more people who clicked on this like this video than average. So on average, my likes are 88.7, but this particular video is 91.7. And then as you're aiming for your avatar, right, you can see things. So check this out. I don't know if I've ever seen this on a video. It makes sense. It's in the sports niche, right? But Look at the gender. 100% men. 100% men. So if I'm out here and I'm saying I'm trying to create a sports channel for women, I would be failing, right? I'm creating a topic that people aren't want. Here's another thing that's really interesting. Look at the demographics of who I'm reaching. Nobody, nobody under the age of 34 has watched this video. Is that not crazy to you? Now, I don't know how accurate this is, but just as a whole, um, that's what you're getting. And then of course you see things like gained a subscriber off of it and different things. So we have that. I'm gonna get to all your guys' questions here in a little bit. I want to finish this presentation for people who are going to watch it on replay. But that's some of the things that you can see within the analytics of your side. So make sure you do that. All right. And then the last point, this is our last bonus point. It's kind of intermediate, but I really kind of think it's beginner too. Focus on building a brand. Okay, so we're talking about tips for brand new YouTube creators. Focus on building a brand. So, yeah, good evening, American Walmarts. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'll get to all your questions in just a second. Okay, focus on building a brand. There's a couple things about this in terms of your YouTube. One, start thinking from the very beginning what your monetization strategy is, and don't wait for AdSense to be the first dollar that you make. Try to figure out how you're going to make a dollar before that. So for me, the very first thing I did was 8 cents on an Upside affiliate. So Upside is a cashback app for gas. I think there's an affiliate link in the description. Even if there's not, we have it in other videos and stuff like that. That was the first thing I made off of YouTube, was 8 cents, because someone I didn't know signed up for Upside, and then I got 8 cents, an 8 cents bounty, essentially, right? And so that's obviously not paying the bills. But then later on, I introduced a Patreon, and then we got partially monetized, and so we started opening up channel memberships. And thank you again to all my members of this channel. I appreciate you so much. And then, of course, now we have AdSense, and we're going to keep keep trying to figure out better ways to do that, to build the brand. Okay, and this is another tip, especially if you're relatively unknown, you're trying to build your brand. I think one of the simplest things to do is just put yourself in every one of your thumbnails. And so you'll notice consistently on my thumbnails, you're just going to see my face popping up. Why? Because I'm trying to build the brand. I've got the beard, right? So I'm trying to build the brand that's going to work, that's going to get people, recognizing me, and then starting to build out my authority in a variety of different areas that we have for it. But think through your monetization strategy as you go through that. So I'm not going to rerun through all the tips, but go back to the beginning. If you missed any of this, definitely make sure you catch all of it. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, so we can keep going on it. So I want to go back. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring this question up. And so if you have any questions, I'm going to take all YouTube questions first. Okay, so anything about YouTube questions first, and then I'll take other fun questions at the end for the last couple of minutes. But I want to take any and all YouTube questions that you have. And again, if you're watching this on replay, make sure you put any questions in the comments as well, and I will do my best to answer them for you. Got to monetize the beard. I'm still looking for like a shop in town, like a barber shop in town, to support me in that. So, do comments in your live chat help with engagement? Well, I'm going to assume the answer is yes, based off of the fact that YouTube tracks it. Okay, so I'm going to, my thesis is, if YouTube didn't care, then they would not show it to you, and they wouldn't track it if it didn't mean something. So I'm going to show you. This is from yesterday's live that I did on the sports channel, just to show you the fact. So they show two things here. This is under the overview. So the overview tab. So this is like for the love of the game. So one is concurrent viewers, right? So it shows how the number of viewers actually went up as the stream went on, which I always think that's a good thing. A lot of times the food delivery streams start out high and they just go down, because by the end it's like, okay, this stream is 4 hours long, I'm not hopping in. But then the other part you see right under concurrent viewers is chat, messages, and reactions. And so the basis of my thesis saying, yes, it matters, is that YouTube tracks it, because if they didn't track it, they wouldn't care. And I would assume super chats matter. I've seen almost every time I've gotten a super chat, there's almost always been a spike in viewership within the next couple of minutes. I think because remember, YouTube is trying to make money. YouTube wants people to stay on platform because that's how they make money. They make money through ads, right? So, and they make money through super chats. They make money through memberships. And so if YouTube starts seeing, wow, 5 people just super chatted in this stream, like, of course they're going to push it out because YouTube gets 30% of those super chats. So sometimes you'll see people who will be like, well, I don't want to turn super chats on, or different things like that. I am a big fan of turning super chats on, not purely for the money. Of course, the money that you get from the super chats is nice. But again, on a $2 super chat, if there you go, 6 comments to help the engagement, right? So if you do a super chat, that's $2, the creator there is going to get $1.40, right? That's how super chats work. Remember, so there's a portion of it. However, if you notice that the streams that you watch, Grassi's stream is a great example. It's like his streams are going to get pushed because YouTube makes money off of his streams. He makes money off of his streams, Grassi does, but YouTube also makes money off of his streams. 6 comments to help the engagement. Yeah. So there's a benefit. So I can't say with definitive, but I would also just say, why would YouTube be tracking and telling us this if they didn't want us to know? So, I think that it matters. And I think we've had streams too. I remember the stream like the night before Thanksgiving, there was a live stream, and we were rolling like 50 people in the stream for a solid hour out of nowhere. So every once in a while, like YouTube's just going to push it out to a larger group of people than normal. And I don't know what it was that night. I don't know if there was a lot less delivery drivers streaming that night, or there were a lot more people at home available to watch, and a lot of them didn't engage, but it was like for a solid, let me see if I can find that one really quick. It was like between 30 and 50 people were watching that stream for like almost the whole first hour. So let me see if I can pull that up really quick, because it's really interesting that people, it wasn't like a quick group that came in and then left after a few minutes. No, it was like a group that was, how many weeks ago was Thanksgiving? I don't even want to know. It was this one. This was such a weird night. And it shows it a lot less now than what it actually was, but we were up in the 30 to 50 range. It's showing less than that, but I mean, you can still see how it was high and how it was, it's showing like 27, but I remember it was higher than that. And then your chat messages. And the reason I know it was higher than that is that particular video got 3,200, that live stream. I can show you that right there, 3,200. You can see like the next day I did a live stream that got 38 views. And then like the football commentary, like for the Dolphins, that was 146 and then 283. And so you had this weird ride along that got 3,200 views. And I don't know why. I don't know why they do it, but it does seem that certain times, if people are just enjoying the stream, they just YouTube keeps sending people. And that's why if you scroll through anything, like, yeah, you're going to see random people, but you're also going to see people where there's just a large group because people like to be in the in crowd. So no, that was not a Grassy raid night either. It wasn't a Grassy raid. It was just the night before Thanksgiving, and people were wanting to watch someone deliver food, I guess. American Walmarts, yeah, I think that's something I want to do eventually. Is go do. I'll get to your other question in a second too, but yeah, go take DoorDash on the road. So yeah, like go to DoorDash around the Daytona 500, and there's all sorts of different sporting events. I think it'd be really fun to just be mobile to do that. And then your other question, have I watched Scripted? Yes, but I was kind of half asleep, so I think I need to rewatch it. Like, I watched it, and I love the twist at the end. I thought that was really fun. I won't spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but I think I missed part of the middle. So, and you haven't DoorDashed all week. The roads in Michigan are awful. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys saw, it was absolutely crazy, the weather down here. And now we didn't get it too bad by us. I'm far enough south. But up in northern Florida, they got 10 inches of snow, and there was still snow. Like a day later, there was still snow on the ground in Florida, which is absolutely crazy to me. And I wonder what DoorDashing was like up in the Panhandle. I wonder if everything shut down or if it was really good. Probably on the very edge of it, it was amazing, like where they got like an inch of snow, because nobody wants to go out in snow in Florida. Nobody knows how to drive in regular weather here, let alone snow. So if I was in a position to do that, I totally would have at least traveled north to go see the snow and do that. But yeah, they're literally just these pictures of like the Gulf of America now. Yeah, I'm sure it's been nuts. But yeah, like there's pictures of the Gulf of America, which is obviously not frozen, being relatively warm, and salt water at that. So that's not really frozen. And then like sandy beach, and then like inches of snow, like right on the beach, just like absolutely crazy. And but yeah, that's definitely one of my goals. I'm hoping to actually do a delivery road trip this summer. We're going to try to get a family vacation in this summer. And what we're going to do, that we'll do some sourcing for eBay and Amazon maybe, and do some delivery on the trip as well. Kind of basically just do a delivery across America and do some live streams from the road and stuff like that. Yeah, those Bugattis don't really do well in the snow. The Bugattis and the Maseratis, they're not snow vehicles for sure. So if anybody else has any other questions or comments, we can do them really quick, but otherwise we're going to wrap this up. I've got a catering delivery at 7:30 tomorrow morning. It's a nice one. It's like $37. No one has to go like a mile. So I don't even know where it's from yet. Let's see if it tells me yet. It's from IHOP. Yeah, picking up. I got it, which makes sense. Breakfast catering order from IHOP. So I've never done a catering order from IHOP, but it was like, yeah, $37.59, 2-mile drive. So I'm gonna hit the hay here soon. I'm gonna go to bed. IHOP. I'm going to IHOP, not IRAP. So right now I have 2 catering apps, American Walmarts. I have Zifty and Deliver That. The vast majority of my catering orders come through on Zifty. So you'll have to see, Zifty's not in every market, but they're in most major markets. And you can't just search their website. So what I would recommend, what they told me to do was go on, sign up to whatever's the closest market to you. And let me see if I can find, I'm not sure if it's Zifty.com or not. So hold on. I don't want to give you a, so start here. I believe this is it. Yeah, this looks right. This is the catering. And so I looked on, and when I looked on the website, though, all they had was Orlando and Tampa. Those were the only 2 places. And so what I did is I applied for Tampa, got on, and then they just told me once I got approved, then let them know what my market is. And then they switched me to the Naples market, which is where I live. And then we've been getting catering orders ever since. So I had one. I was feeling off a little bit today, so I ended up staying in. But I had one. I had like a $25 lunch one that was scheduled for today, and I've been getting almost one a day over the last 2 weeks now. Kind of slowed down like after Christmas and New Year's, and I started picking up last week. So it's really nice to just like start the day. Like, I mean, tomorrow I'm gonna have $37 done by 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I can go out and do some other deliveries and get going on Instacart and all those other things. So yeah, I mean, it's tough when the roads are bad. It's not safe to drive out there. Yep, that's another way to do that. Thank you, Midnight. Post that up for anybody else who, if you're not seeing it on the chat replay, I'll put it on the screen. Google catering apps in. So the main three, and there are, I think that's how you spell delivered. Those are the main three that most people on this channel use one or the other. I'm on the wait list for delivered. I have delivered that, but I only take probably about one every other week or one a week at most. And Zifty is the one I get almost every day. And they almost all go to medical facilities. So yeah, well, it's they say like February is the worst month for delivery. It's like the hardest month. Now here it's a little different because we have so many people who come and are down here for season. So I think that neutralizes that dip a little bit, but I mean, up until yesterday was a great day. I did over $200 without doing supper time yesterday, which is like crazy. I don't know if I've ever done that. So, yep, Instacart and Shipped, they're good to get on. I would just encourage you, like, just apply. Walmart Spark is another one. I mean, being that you're American Walmarts, and even if all you do is get on the wait list and Amazon Flex, just get on these wait lists and at least have a chance of getting something. Hey, we just sold some cards on eBay. I've noticed all my baseball cards have started getting a lot more attention here the last couple of days. People are getting excited for the baseball season. So I'm excited for the baseball season too. So we did a live over on the new sports channel. By the way, in case you guys missed that, we did a hot stove report for everything coming up for baseball. I'll have my predictions for NFL coming out over there soon as well. That is, let me give you that really quick. We got over the 50 subscribers there tonight too, so that means I can vertical live stream over there. I was thinking about going back over there. Let me see. Let me give you guys the link in case you haven't seen it. I know most of you guys do know it, but we'll let this video be brought to you by that channel. Let's go here. I'll give you guys the link. Metropolitans, which is YouTube's smallest Miami Dolphins and New York Mets channel. So that's the new channel. So I did a live over there earlier tonight, and I'm probably going to put up a couple of shorts. Probably put up I don't know. It's a little late. Not for the sports channel. It's not too late to put up a short on the sports channel. It's too late to put up a short on this channel. Shorts on this channel work better if I post them in the morning. It just falls off too quickly otherwise. But sports shorts can do well in this later night, 10 o'clock. There's a lot of people on. So anyway, we are to the 50 subs. So we will, any food delivery with football this weekend will be over on the new channel. So make sure if you want to do food delivery ride-alongs, it's going to be over on the new channel. And I don't know if Gracie will rate us on the new channel or whatever. And I haven't reached out to him yet to let him know that we did, that, but it's okay. It's cool. I'm fine if that channel gets built without a Gracie raid as well. So we love Gracie and we appreciate the Gracie raid, but he'll find us eventually over there. He'll be like, wait, it's a new channel. Or he'll come back not realizing that we're a new channel over there. And just think we changed the name or something. Whatever it ends up being. All right. Well, that being said, Yes, I know. I know. At halftime the other night, because someone was questioning, like, "Does this really help small creators?" And I was like, it's like, "Yeah, one guy assigned a hustle, we helped get him monetized." I'm like, "That's me. That was me." Because I was actually that was one of the nights that I was on, and I was rating with him, and I heard it. So I need to. That's one I need to cut into a short for sure. I need to cut that into a short. Um, when Tom Grassi mentions your channel live on air. What I want to figure out is because I reacted to it because I was live at the same time and I reacted to it. Like I want to figure out how to do like his mention. Yeah, I got to hear it. It was really cool. It was really cool, and we definitely appreciate him and what he's done. I mean, for this channel, such a big deal. You know, so big in helping us get going, and now it's like now it gives me the freedom to actually start a separate sports channel. And I don't know if there's baseball raids. I don't know if there's like I honestly don't know much about baseball streamers. I follow like one main New York Mets channel, which is Wardy NYM. He's who I've been following for Mets news for years. There's another guy, Draft Neck Mark. There's a couple of them. I mean, there's multiple ones. There's Mets Cast and different things, but one of the things that I find with a lot of these sports channels, and it's not a critique on the creators. It's just my uniqueness is that I bring the clean. I don't curse. I don't get crazy upset. I mean, I want to get excited and stuff like that, and I probably need to show my emotion a little bit more, which is much easier to do when you're actually sitting and watching the game as opposed to driving around town. But like, I just bring the clean, the family friendly, and I want to bring that to the sports world because I want to be able to be a place where people can watch with their kids because I want to be able to do it with my kids too. So that's kind of my uniqueness. I didn't cover that, but if you want a bonus tip, give your unique spin on things for sure. Midnight, that's your calling. You become the Panthers creator. How about this? How about next year? I'll make sure to do at least one Panthers game. I'll make sure to stream at least one Panthers game for you next year. Because like the Dolphins, there's no more Panthers or Dolphins games this season. But next season, we'll get one. We'll get one for you. Yeah, no, I mean, I found the same thing with Dolphins is like the one guy was like just like getting upset with the refs, and like I get it, refs make bad calls, and it's the showmanship, and it was just even the way he was doing like the super chat and the membership, it was like too salesman-y, too pushy. As opposed to like, hey, this is our goal. If we get it, great. If not, that's no big deal. It was just too much. Yeah, exactly. But I would recommend in general the best time to start a streaming channel um, for a sports team is when the team is down and there's less creators because there's still just as many people interested in the content or at least marginally interested in the content. And I think that's one of the best things. So like, right now, if you do like the Carolina Panthers, you want to become a streamer, now's a good time. And then do that. Brody Brazil? No, I do not know Brody Brazil. I can look that up really quick. I'm always looking for new things. Who is Brody Brazil? Yeah, so he looks like he's mostly baseball. No, not only baseball. He's got some football stuff. No means no. No, it's just a general, not to you, Midnight. Just a general. Yeah, so I like it. His thumbnails are a little inconsistent. Like they don't all kind of look exactly the same. I guess he's got the box around his stuff, but so he like did he work for the A's? He's got some sort of tie-in with the Oakland A's. Well, Las Vegas A's or whatever they are now. Seems like he's a pretty big deal. He's got, yeah, he's got a pretty big following, 60,000 subs or something like that. 65,000 subs. So, yeah. And my other problem is like now that I'm creating, I have less and less time to listen to other creators. You just, yep. What are they this year? They're the Sacramento A's this year, I think. I haven't actually seen if there's an official name change. I think it's the Sacramento A's this year. Yeah. No, they're now known simply as, they're just going to be known as the Athletics or Athletic. Maybe not even the Athletics. Just Athletics. That's their name. Yeah. But there's something I love about the first week of baseball. I'm gonna stream as much as I possibly can, and do like live streams of as many baseball games as I can the first week. I got to figure out how to make it work, and so I'm just gonna go all in, because there's not a lot of people who live stream Mets games. That, as far as I know, even Wardy NYM, he does like pregame, like pre-series and post-game stuff, but he doesn't do a lot of in-game streaming until you get to the playoffs. And I'm like, that might be a market that I could then, I'm not trying to steal, right? But if I could take a chunk of his subscribers who would love to watch in-game streaming, and I could do that, because there's people. I mean, it's been so nice to have Grassi when I'm out on the road talking about the game, like, because I'm not able to watch it, and so it's like, and sure, you can listen to it on the radio, but that's hard to do and then stream at the same time. So yeah, there's a lot of teams right now that don't care about winning, and I don't know how to fix it. Like, there's a lot of people think that there's a Dodgers problem, but beyond that, there's just there's also a not spending. There's, as much as the Dodgers, you can say Dodgers, Mets, Yankees are a problem for spending maybe too much. And that's coming from a Mets fan, like, yeah, maybe we're spending too much. The opposite is true too. There's so many teams that just aren't even trying to put a competitive product on the field. I mean, what the White Sox did last year was absolutely pathetic. I mean, just, to me, that was more of an insult to baseball versus like a super team. I mean, the Yankees used to have a super team, in the Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle days. I mean, they were super teams. That's why they won so many World Series. So, yeah, 50-50 chance of snowed out. Yeah. It's going to be snow out or 70 degrees. I got family out in Colorado Springs, so I know that. So, all right. Well, we're going to wrap up here because I need to be done. I'm going to try to figure out my short for the baseball channel, and doing that. So, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hopefully these tips will help you, for anyone and anybody who's watching who wants to grow your YouTube channel. And I will see you again soon. Have a good night.